Hey, gun people. This is a follow-up to the cop that shot up the trailer because the guy opened the door after they snuck up on him in the middle of the night. Never announced themselves as police. I think it's the Cheatham Police Department. So let's see what they got here. 2 Cheatham sheriff deputies and an Ashland city police officer were fired Tuesday after violating departmental policy and alleged assault at a sports venue. Deputy Doug Fox, Tyler Temple, and Paul Garrett being investigated by the Nashville police in connection with an assault against another individual. So, when you read a report like this, what happened is these cops went into this bar, were drinking with their guns, got in a fight, said they were cops, either used their guns or used their police or identified themselves as police when the cops came, and they violated policy. So that's probably what happened, and that's why they were fired. One of these cops is the one that shot up the trailer. And I'll get into the details on why that really helps this other guy's case. A release from the agencies involved says they were released from employment, meaning they were fired, after violating sheriff's policy and police department policies. Probably drinking while armed, or getting drunk while armed, or using their arms and their guns in while in a fight, drinking off duty, all kind of ways they could. All three were off duty at the time of the assault. So let's see here, and they were all fired. Let's listen to news on how that.
It was shocking video we first showed you last week. Now the Cheatham County deputy involved is fired after a Metro Police investigation.
News Channel 5's Nick Barris has more on the civil rights lawsuit and a look at the overall picture of the deputy's conduct.
You know, the first incident happened this past August in Cheatham County. Shots fired into a home. Now, the second alleged incident happened 4 months later at a sporting venue in Nashville. Specifically at Top Golf, the day after Christmas. Metro Police are investigating an alleged assault involving 3 off-duty Cheatham County law enforcement officers. The case is still under investigation, but this week, all 3 were fired for violating policies.
So if there's still an investigation going on and they were fired for violating policy, that pretty much probably means criminal charges are going to be filed for assault or were filed. And if you commit a criminal act while armed, under the influence, off duty as a cop, you're probably going to get fired.
One of them, the now former Cheatham County deputy Doug Fox, is also named in a separate federal lawsuit.
Keep in mind, this encounter happened so fast.
Okay, so here's where it's going to get really interesting. This sheriff is supporting his deputy in this shooting. And now he has fired the deputy for another incident. So normally when government works for government and government is protected, this cop still gets government protection and free legal from the government because the sheriff backed him and justified this event. So now you have what's kind of called a hostile witness for the government, because this cop now, who would have done what they told him, who would have said what he said, who would have supported the agency, who would have said, no, our policy never allows this. No, we never did anything. No, I've never seen other cops do anything. We did the right thing and we did everything within policy. And now his statement will be different because he's fired and he no longer has a job with these people. So the case against this agency just got really muddy. This cop that just got fired may be the new star witness for the guy who got shot up in the trailer, because now his statement may be, hey man, the sheriff has always hated this guy, and the sheriff told us we went there, don't take any shit from him. And the sheriff said that, you know what, if he even acts like he shows a gun, shoot him up, I'll back you up, don't worry about it. And I told the sheriff when I made this shooting that I thought I made a mistake, and the sheriff told me, no, don't say that. I'm going to support you. We need to say we were within policy to protect the government. But now, because he's fired, this throws a huge bucket, wrench in the old bucket, so to speak, on this case. Because now this sheriff, who did have a good, loyal deputy that he was backing up to support him and policies of government, now has been fired, and now his loyalties may not be so strong.
Deputies only have milliseconds to react. But
Sheriff Mike
with
Breedlove
them,
talked to us
what
last
they
week
saw-
defending his deputy's conduct in an officer-involved
This poor guy in his freaking house, minding his own business. Cops show up, said they got a 911 hang up, and shoot at him through the door. He didn't do nothing, and he gets arrested. Ain't America great?
shooting.
I'm happy that no one lost their life that night.
Fox and another deputy were sent on a 911 hang-up in Chapmansboro. They went to the home of Mark Campbell, did not identify themselves, and then after an exchange with Campbell inside, Fox pulled his weapon.
Do what, Mark? You good?
Man, that shooting is just one of the worst shootings I've seen, and I don't know. He shoots twice, stops, checks his deputy. Hey, are you good? Yeah, okay, let me go back to shooting this guy again. I can't believe the sheriff supported this. I can't believe the agency was backing him. They may even tell the sheriff, though, you know what? You need to get egg on your face. You need to we need to redo this investigation. You need to say that after further reviewing this, you're not comfortable with what he did. If they can find out that this guy violated some policy in the least bit, they can change their finding on this, release the deputy that was now fired, and say, we don't support the shooting. He violated policy. Therefore, he loses his immunity, and you can sue the crap out of him. We're not standing behind him. What that does is it makes the suing party's case a lot weaker, because now they don't have deep pockets. Now they don't have government pockets to go after. They can only go after this individual. And this cop, if he owns a car or a gun, that's all they're going to get. They're not going to get much from a cop. So their only chance is to turn the cop into their witness against the government. But it still makes their case harder.
Fox's fellow deputy was not hit, but dove for cover. Somehow, Campbell, who was behind the door, also escaped injury.
And then I went to open the door, and I got the door open about 4 or 5 inches, and then boom, boom, 2 shots come through the door.
At the time, Fox told supervisors he thought Campbell was armed.
We open the door, he lifts something up. Puts it up to the door like that, I shoot at him.
Because I had no weapons.
Campbell said
He lifts something up. It could have been a sandwich. I don't know what it was. But I shot him because he lifted something up. He might have been holding up a sign, please don't shoot, I'm unarmed. I don't know what he held up. I just shot him.
he didn't point anything and no handgun was found in the home. Last week, the sheriff said he still trusted his deputy.
So you believe there was a gun?
I do.
Cop never said he saw a gun. He said he saw his hand go up. And this sheriff, on that limited information, believes there was a gun. Can you freaking believe this guy, man? You talk about protecting government. Wow.
Just wasn't found.
Yes.
But since then, the sheriff has fired Fox because of the alleged incident at Top Golf. So the question, does the sheriff still trust his now former deputy? The sheriff declined to comment now other than to confirm that Fox is no longer with the department. Nick Barris.
Okay, so there's a little follow-up on that case. It'll be interesting now, but the case just got a lot muddier because now you don't have government has a united front fighting the mean homeowner who opened his hand and lifted something and caused the poor cop to shoot at him and wasted bullets. I'm surprised they're not freaking making the homeowner pay for the bullets the cop shot at him. That'll be next. All right, we'll end that there.